People are currently tapping. If you are tapping, raise your hands. Yeah, I love that. So welcome to Web3. And that's like one of the most easier way to onboard users to Web3. And I like the way the presenter talks about it, that it feels like a black hole and people are still trying to figure it out and they're trying to get to understand what's this thing all about. But one of the things that people associate with Web3 or cryptocurrency and blockchain is it's a way to make life-changing money. I'm pretty sure that most people that get into Web3, everybody is all about making money because you want to buy the next coin, right? And that's what most of what the influencers are pushing to your face. That, oh, the next Ethereum, the next Bitcoin. How many people saw the Davido's meme coin? Yeah, crazy. Thank you very much. So, yeah, so we saw that. Funny enough, I was not active on Twitter. I've not been active on Twitter for like a week. And a friend of mine just called me like, yo, this morning, like, did you see the Davido movement? And I did like a 5x for him, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, really? And I was like, oh, did one dev just come up with it? And the guy was telling me like, no, Davido literally launched it himself. And I'm like, that's crazy, right? So, and how many people here also got the Notcoin airdrop? Yeah, right? So I had a friend that got like $24,000 from that. And I know quite a number of people made few money from it, right? Those are the opportunities that are available for you in the space. But then I also want to explain it not just from the financial aspect, but from also the tech career and these other opportunities that exist in the space. But before I start out, let me tell you a little bit story about me currently. So it will not be like I am doing Inspire to Perspire for you, right? There are really amazing speakers here, and having to listen to Sarah, who has done amazing for herself. I've known Sarah since like way back, and hearing her story actually kind of like, oh wow, this girl has gone a long way. And I want to hear more people because I'm quite connected to some of the people that will speak on the stage, right? So it's pretty much interesting to hear people's story. So currently, right now, I am a Web3 advocate. I get to work with more than often. Have I ever worked with any Nigerian-based crypto project? I don't think so. Most of the projects I've worked with have been international. I tried recently to work with some Nigerian startups. Can you guys see hear me clearly? All right, great. So I tried working with Nigerian startup recently. I went for one of their events, but I think that most of the terminologies they were using were quite vague. Or they were still bringing a lot of Web2 into it, right? Which I tried explaining to them. So I currently work for most Web3 based, and me sitting on this stage will look like, oh, this guy is supposed to be a multi-millionaire, right? And I'm going to tell you current problems I'm currently in. First of all, I don't like speaking events. I don't like talking. So from the beginning, remember I said that I have to sit down because every time I talk, I get drained, so I don't like talking. And I've been avoiding talking for a while. So I used to run a community of Web3 enthusiasts where I help them better understand these things and I help them make money. So I know that I have helped multiple people make millions. I know people that literally worship me like a god at the moment because of the access I have given them, right? But this year for me, I'd taken a step back. Due to me getting tired of talking generally, or me getting tired of engaging so much. But I know that after this event, maybe I'll born again, right? So current problems I currently have, I'm currently having two legal issues with two major companies, one financial institution, one of the biggest financial institutions in Nigeria. I'm currently having a legal issue with them, which my lawyer is currently threatening them with a suit because they actually blocked my account. So currently I do not have access to my Naira account, my biggest Naira account at the moment. So I don't have any access to cash right now. When I was coming here today, I literally had to make Tolu pay for me to get here, right? So that's one. Second thing again was I bought a car recently and the car got into a minor accident. Minor because the body of the car did not get damaged, but the engine of the car went off, and that literally costed me millions to get it back fixed. Another problem I'm currently in, so I talked about the legal issue that I'm currently having. Okay, I think one more is one of my biggest crypto accounts recently got blocked, which currently owes thousands of dollars on it. And so for me, really, there's really no reason for me to be sitting down here right now, because I probably should just be sleeping and trying to figure out my life, right? But the positives for me is why I would not hold on to the negatives, and there's something I'm trying to get at. Why I would not hold on to the negatives is because while I'm also going through these problems I just mentioned, I'm also thinking, yo, dude, you're not owing anybody debt. Like, I'm literally on zero debt at the moment. I'm not owing anybody. Somebody can still call me right now and say, yo, guy, I need so amount of money right now. And I can still call a friend to help me. I've had friends flock around me. When my car got damaged, I had a friend pay for it fully. When I had issues, I was able to meet with the Commissioner of Police for state. I was able to meet with the Commissioner of Police for federal. I was able to meet with the IG of Nigeria. I have their direct contact. And I didn't know how important that was until when police stopped me while I was driving recently. And they told me that my car papers were not complete, blah, 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 and they suspect my car being a stolen car. And they had started trying to search my car and all of that. And I'd met the Commissioner of Police in Nigeria at that time. And because of that, I got their cards and some signed documents from them and all. So while the police were searching my car, they saw the card of one of the Commissioner of Police, and the guy had to stop searching my car and came to meet me like, oh, who are you? Oh, yeah, this is who I am, right? Which showed me like, oh, maybe it was not so bad that my account was blocked, right? Because I was able to meet these people, right? The positives also is I met one of the most beautiful girls in the world. This same period while I'm going through most of these problems. I've made 5 figures, I will not say 6 figures, 5 figures, literally just doing what I love doing, right, this year. So why hold on to the negatives? So what I'm basically saying is that there is a process. And I love that every speaker here talked about that there's a process you have to follow. One of the things some of my friends told me recently, I have a lot of friends abroad, and most of them, when this problem started happening, the first question they asked me is, are you ready to leave Nigeria now? And I remember telling them, is that enough reason why I want to leave Nigeria? One of the interesting things for me is that there have been processes in place before that when most of these problems are happening now, I'm not faced by them. So some of my friends have said, I have never seen somebody so relaxed and calm-headed with so many of these things eating you up right now. Why are you so calm? Because I had gone through processes that prepared me for this time, right? So let's go into Web3 now. So when I got into Web3, I think that was 2020, and I remember having conversation with Olu at the early days, going to XRP, and I remember certain people advising me against it because they've had bad experiences with people losing money to it. And I started the whole journey of, okay, you know what, let's just see what this is, right? And I remember I started with $50, and the $50 became $200, and it became $500, it went to $800, and I think at some point I was on 1,200, and that was way back 2020-ish, 2020 during COVID-19 period. That was like the emergence of the new bull market. And it felt so interesting, and I felt invisible, like, yo, this is massive. And I remembered I sold my business. The last startup I built, I sold the business for a couple of millions of naira. And I remember converting all that money to dollars, USDT, and I poured everything into crypto. And somebody dropped a signal to, buy this coin, it's going to blow up. And I remember buying this particular coin. And my thousands of dollars went to, I think, $150 in seconds. And I remembered my head went light. And I fainted, right? And when I fainted, I woke up. And I called my friend like, yo, this just happened, this. And I was like, I don't even understand. And I remember going into the bedroom to take my bath. I was literally shaking because having to build a business for 4 years and selling that business and pour the whole money into that and lose all the money, right? And I remember going into the bedroom and saying, yo, let me just take my bath and chill. And I remember as soon as I opened that shower, I fainted again. And I remember waking up on the bedroom floor. Eventually I came out of the bedroom and I asked myself, is this what cryptocurrency is all about? Is this how it's going to be? I don't think I want to play this game. But then I told myself, I've lost, do I want to start my life from zero again? Do I want to go and start building a new business again from the beginning? Or do I want to start looking for a job right now? Or do I want to better understand what this cryptocurrency is all about? Do I want to understand the technology behind this thing? Do I want to, and I watch people testimony. A lot of people give testimony. Remember I said something, Notcoin, somebody made $24,000, right? So we see powerful testimonies like this and we're like, oh my God, I want to make my own thousands of dollars too. So, having to see this testimony and like, oh, this person made this amount of money, so I can make this amount of money too, right? And I remember that by the time I sold the coin I bought, the money was on like $80 each and thereabout. And I started going deeper into understanding what cryptocurrency is all about. Why was it invented? What was the tech behind it? Why do we need this? Is this just more than just us trading, right? And that took me towards a journey of, one of the things I then now told myself as I then is, you know what? I'm going to help people understand this thing more so that they will not be a victim of losing the money the way I lost the money, right? Which I think I have successfully done to an extent, and I'll do more of it over time, right? So what is Web3, right, in a nutshell? So I remember I wrote something down about that. So let me read what I exactly wrote to you. So you guys give me a minute, please. So I wrote, Web3 empowers individuals by giving them greater control over their online presence and data. In the Web3 era, users own their digital identities, assets, information, thanks to blockchain technology. This means greater privacy, security, and autonomy. So in gibberish English, that's what it is. But in very layman terms, what it is in itself is, so we've gone from Web 1, which is you can only read, you cannot interact with. So if you could see an example of older dictionary or encyclopedia or Wikipedia, right, that's an example of what Web 1 is. You cannot interact with it. You cannot open a profile on it. You can only interact, read, right? Then we evolved to Web 2, which allowed that you are able to interact with, open a profile, set up a username, set up a password, add friends. Then we saw the emergence of platforms like Facebook and these platforms that we all know right now, built on the Web 2 infrastructure. That's what Web 2 was, right? Now, what Web 3 is majorly is now making it more simple. So instead of using passwords and username, you are only connecting with an address, which is on the blockchain, right? So let me make this easy. So there are three terminologies you might have heard: cryptocurrency, Web3, and blockchain technologies. Are they the same, or what makes them different? So they are very similar because they all use the same tech stack, but they are also quite different. So cryptocurrency is more like an application that is using the blockchain technology in itself. So it's a digital form of, it could be shares, it could be a share of the way a company that is building on the Web3 infrastructure could say, we want to give out our shares to the public, right? It could also be a way of digital currency. It could also be a digital design or something, right? So it could represent a whole lot of things. That's what cryptocurrency is. So we have coins and tokens. So most of the coins you get to see, Bitcoin, Ethereum, ETH, Doge, Shiba Inu, and a whole lot of these coins are all cryptocurrencies, right? Web3, I already explained what Web3 is. Web3 is the whole general coverage of what the technology in itself. The technology itself is the blockchain technology. And blockchain technology is just a digital ledger. And let me make it very easy. For people that do not know, it's not gibberish. It's not so sophisticated. It's not even hard. Blockchain in itself is very easy to understand because it's just a digital ledger. So it's just like we having a notebook right here. You have a notebook right there, and you run a business. Can you guys still hear me? All right, great. So you run a business, and so let me use the opportunity to drink water. decentralization, smart contract, this one, meme coin, this, right? They are very simple actually. So decentralization majorly just means that projects are able to, so rather than normal Web2 companies that, for example, Amazon has a centralized server that they need to make sure that every time they upload something, or let's use an example of a Facebook, for example, or a Twitter, for example, every time you make a tweet, or you save a picture, or you upload a picture, the picture gets uploaded to a server, right? And it's being managed by this big company, Facebook, right? Or they buy a server, right? So being managed by Amazon Web, do you get? But in Web3, the whole thing is decentralized because myself and you can decide to run the network, right? And we use a peer-to-peer network where I get paid for running the network. So rather than Facebook getting rich for managing all the server, I get paid from helping manage the server. And those are some of the opportunities that are available for you in the Web3 space. So, and I believe I'm able to do justice to explaining what Web3, cryptocurrency, and blockchain is, right? All right, great. So let's talk about the opportunities that are available in the space. So first of all, I know that a lot of people know more, and I think one of the amazing way that people had onboarded people into the space is meme coins, right? Meme coins. So I know, I'm shocked that when I see new users, before they even know what Ethereum is or what Bitcoin is, somebody's telling me, oh, somebody told them about Kitty Inu, or Shiba Inu, or Doge, right? And I'm always telling people, be very careful of meme coins because they have very high volatility. They can go up and go down very fast. So that's why you see people get very scared and say, oh, I put my 50,000 naira. My 50,000 is now 15 naira. I'm not doing it again, right? And today will be one of the opportunities that will help explain it to people so that you would make the better decisions and right decisions, so you do not fall victim to the scam. So I know that there are lots of controversies around the space that it is scam, it is Ponzi scheme, it is this, it is that. But the truth is that everything has the Ponzi scheme side of it. The financial institutions that we currently have, the banks, currently have their Ponzi scheme side. People do not know, but I would say to you today that the bank lose more money to cyber security, cyber attack than any other industry currently. But they know how to figure out their shit. They know how to hide it because the integrity of a bank existing has to be that one of the reasons why all of us will not go and remove our money is that story must not go out. The moment those stories go out, that bank can get liquidated. So every time we save our money in the bank, it's not that the bank has access to your money. There's no safe they are putting your money into. It's only recorded. So if a larger percentage of people that are saving in that bank go to say, we want to withdraw our money right now, I promise you that bank will be liquidated. An example of it is the 2023 bank crisis we had. And I was also a victim of that because I know that I was using Silvergate at some point and I had like $30,000 in it. And when Silvergate got liquidated, I got this till date I've not gotten my money back, right? So, and that happened because a whole lot of people were making more withdrawals than deposits, right? So that's one of the things you should know first of all. Ponzi schemes is not just in crypto, it's in every sector, especially when it has to do with finance, right? So you also know, but then it's always easy to bring people into something through Ponzi schemes because you can promise Segundo Goji, I can turn your 10 naira to 1 million, right? So if I tell you right now that I call somebody and say, bring 100 naira to this stage right now, and I will turn your 100 naira to 10,000 naira immediately now, people will doubt me. But if I now tell one person to come here and bring the 100 naira, and in front of you guys, I do abracadabra and I turn that 100 to 1,000. Some people start saying, oh wow, really? And I say, oh, you know what? I can turn this 10,000 to 100,000 and I do this, right? And more all of you see it. Now, not everybody here will fall victim, but a larger percentage of people will say, I want to turn my money to 100 naira to a million naira too. And what happens when a larger percentage of people now brings 100 naira to me and I disappear? That's it, right? So it's always easier to onboard people through Ponzi schemes. And that's why it's always so very easy to use the Ponzi scheme side to say, oh, this. Sometimes, when it even comes to Web 2, or the way marketing is done, sometimes I frown against it. Because I see certain vague marketing strategies where they say, oh, get the opportunity to win a car or win a Ferrari. And I'm never seeing anybody winning that Ferrari. Right? But then it is what it is. So that's what all Web3 is all about. That's what cryptocurrency is. That's what blockchain is. Now, how do you assess the opportunities in the space? So I'm going to explain. Bitcoin started, I think the emergence of Bitcoin started in 2008 with Nakamoto, Satoshi Nakamoto. To date, we do not know if it's a single person or a body of individuals. And it was during the financial crisis, the world was facing a financial crisis when there was this bank meltdown and all of that. And some very smart people said, you know what, let us find a way to build a digital form of money where it's not going to be printed unlimited. So one of the problems with the fiat currency currently that we deal with right now is that the fiat naira, the money that we hold, cash, does not have a limit, right? So we give our value to people, and in exchange, we get this money in exchange. So I know that on stage, they mentioned that things are getting more expensive. And I promise you, in the next 20 years, 100 years, what would happen? Things will keep getting more expensive. As far as we're using this system of fiat currency. And this is due to the reason, the economics of things. Inflation. And inflation happens when there is more supply of something than the demand for it. And that's why you see they do quantitative tightening at some point where they say they increase interest rates. So when they increase interest rates, when they increase interest rates, we get these things reduced, but the truth is this thing is going to keep increasing, right? Things are going to get more expensive. And because the unlimited way that they can print money, that's why you see assets like gold are assets, because they are limited, they are scarce to get. It's very hard to get them. And that's what Bitcoin is. It's limited. There's only 21 million copies of it. There will never be more of it. I think we're currently on 19 million or 20 million-ish or thereabout. So there are very few copies of it already. And that is why it would make sense that BTC would keep going up as much as we keep seeing adoption for it. So if you are looking at a store of value, one of the best asset class to put money into could be BTC. But would it mean that your money will go up immediately you put it in? The truth is, village people can even enter. The moment you buy, that's when they start falling, right? But you have to look at it from a span of a long term, right? So, and that's what BTC is, digital form of money, which we're seeing massive adoption with. The London Stock Exchange recently just listed it. The America SEC just approved it. Companies can now buy it. Financial institutions can now buy it. So we're seeing high adoption rate for this. Ethereum in itself is the technology itself that allows us now build on the blockchain, right? So I'm going to round this up because I'm already getting tired and my time is almost up. So I know I will be running, hopefully if I come out of retirement, I will be running this program where I would help explain these things further down the line and explain explicit detail of how you want to enter and get out, right? But are we seeing the end to this thing? I don't believe so. I think we're just starting. It's still very fresh. Is anybody late to it? No. The tap swap might be the next big money for somebody and might be zero for somebody. You might not make anything from it. But that would help you learn the whole technology of what it is in itself. It's a way to onboard user in it. So
how can you work in Web3? How can you work in that space? See, the normal design that you know how to do, Web3 companies also are looking for designers. The normal website that you know how to build, Web3 companies are also looking for content developers, this, and all of that. All you just want to do is put yourself in that space, and I know it is quite easier. So I currently am not fully working for any company fully, because I just freelance, right? And I know how much I get paid sometimes in a month and all that. So you want to brand yourself a bit and work towards that, and you just do what you do normally. But you just want to understand some of these terminologies that operate in the space. So I would say that I don't know what your next millions, where you're going to make your next millions, but then the opportunities in the space, it's an emerging technology, right? It's new, it's fresh, and we're still very early, right? And Ethereum, I believe, is still at the early stage, and you're seeing a lot of tech stack being built on it. So if you're thinking of, I want to start my career in it, and one of the interesting things about this topic today is accessing global opportunities. And I tell you that it has never been so easy to access global opportunity than now through the Web3 space, because it is now easier for you being a Nigerian or being an African or being anybody to access. There's no racism there is no limitation. They don't really care about your certification. You can be in school and start doing something around it. You can be an undergraduate and start doing something with it. So it's not limited to, you have to be at praise God level before you get a job or before you start getting opportunities. As simple as you just playing a game, right? One of the games that I play game a lot, and I know a couple of people probably play games here, and I have gone from abandoning my PS5 and my Xbox at home to playing a lot of Web3 games, because my PS5 is not going to pay me money. Just a Web3 game, one of the highest money a Web3 game has paid me has been as high as $25,000, and I've seen lesser than that. And while I was sitting there, while I was listening to the speakers talking, I was also playing games, right? Because every time I play this game, I make $3, $5, $10 from it. So, and those are some of the opportunities that are available for you in the space. You do not have to know or be so in-depth into, you know all the tech and everything. You just need to easy on body and play a game, right? And you can make a couple of dollars from it while you're in school, while you're trying to figure this out. You can start your marketing and say, there's something they call farming in the Web3 space. There are farmers, you can decide. So it has never been so easy to be on the international space than now. This gives you access to it, right? You can now build products, and now not just limited to your environment, because most of the product that you can build on the Web2 space, even if they are digital products, there's still a limitation of the product being within your environment. So you want to build a financial startup, for example, or a fintech. It is easier for you to be in Nigeria and build a fintech for Nigerians or for Africans. But one of the things that the Web3 does for you is that you can build a fintech product on the Web3 space and sell to the global market, because they do not care whether you're a Nigerian founder. They only care that the products meet the need of what you want to do. So I would say that a whole lot of people should look at the opportunities in the space. Don't just fall to the meme coins. Don't lose your money. Try to understand. Join communities. Very important. One of the most important things I would say that you do, if you're trying to understand more about the Web3 space, join communities. Join communities. Join communities. Twitter is a big part of Web3. Find a way to join communities. Follow me on Twitter. I'm currently not so active, but like I said, maybe when I come out of retirement, I'll become more active again. And I will give more pointers towards this. And that's basically all I could tell a whole lot of people. So I want to believe that some people are beginning to understand that, this thing is more than just a way to just so good dogoji or the Ponzi scheme side of it. There's a tech to it. I started also when I understood, this thing is a tech, right? So please start reading a bit more about it. Join communities, and most likely follow people that will probably talk about it and get to understand it. So there is no time, like I said, to access global opportunities than now through this space. All right, guys. Thank you.